My beautiful aliens, happy 2025. This is future me or editing Carlson popping in to say, hey guys, this episode was recorded in 2024. I can't remember when because my laptop crashed and the last few days have literally been a daze. So many things have happened. I'm going to do a whole new episode that I'm planning on recording in a few days after I released this episode today to catch you guys up on life, but I'm popping in to say I hope you're I hope you had a beautiful new year. There's so many insane things that have happened around the world and I'm like, what the fuck is this life right now? But I don't know, the vibes at the moment. I just met up with a friend and offloaded and we had this chaotic meetup. Life's feeling pretty surreal. I'm traveling back to the UK soon, so that's kind of crazy, but I plan on being consistent with the episode. Thank you for being here, my beautiful aliens. I am gonna catch you guys next week. So I hope you enjoyed this very authentic rambles episode where I was really going in on how life has been so far, and it's, as I always say, I'm so real with authentic rambles. I hope you enjoy and I hope I make sense. All right, my lovies, bye. My beautiful aliens, hello, and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here to the Authentically Blue podcast. I am your very humble host, Carlson. It's currently 4:20 a.m. Kenyan time. UK time, it's 1:20 a.m. and it's Tuesday, the 24th of December, 2024. We have an Authentic Rambles episode. I have been journaling, but not fully journaling lately, but I have this authentic rambles divided into two themes. If you're new here and you don't know what the authentic rambles is, it's a segment where I just blabber and speak stuff without a structured way. This one specifically, it's low-key like my thoughts lately and how I've been pursuing and viewing life. So I was debating between naming this episode Toxic Till the End or Honeymoon Avenue. So I kind of went with the mashup of both because if you're not aware, those are two songs, one by the artist Rosie and the other by Ariana Butera Grande. I'm so breathless, I was singing. Hold on. Okay, take a deep breath with me, guys. I did not mean that to be ASMR. I can't even speak. I feel like I've just been thinking thoughts in my head. Anyway, lately I have been stuck between Honeymoon Avenue, which in this episode I'll talk about nostalgia and linking into nostalgia, and the other side I was reflecting. Ironically, as I mentioned in the Podmas episodes, I was speaking to my cousin and I was like, this year I low-key feel like I've been toxic-ish, should I say, to a certain degree. So I'm going to dive into those two. It's not going to be a long episode, so if you do relate, hey. If you resonate, hey ho. If you don't, thank you for being here. There's so many other episodes and I'm excited for the next one I'm going to record. I've never actually talked about that before. All right, my loves. Honeymoon Avenue is a song by Ariana Grande, and I first discovered this song in 2021 when I first experienced heartbreak for the first time. Ironically, I wasn't even in a relationship, but I felt so much heartbreak and so much hurt, bruh. The American and the British in me is colliding, okay? The words are meshing up. Who is she? Is she from Nairobi? Is she from America? Is she from England? Like, what is this accent? Bear with me. So I discovered Honeymoon Avenue. I don't even know how. I just remember listening to it in 2021 and crying my eyes out because, let me find the lyrics of the song. If you haven't heard of Honeymoon Avenue, I don't know what you're doing, because that is low-key the best breakup song. So it goes, okay, and then the instrumentals are amazing, but Ariana links it was released in 2013, the day I met him, how crazy, but she talks about she links her heartbreak to a curse. So she says, I looked in my rearview mirror and it seems to make a lot more sense than what I see ahead of us. Yeah. I'm ready to take that turn before we both crash and burn, because that could be the death of us. Baby, you know how to drive in rain. You decided not to make change. Stuck in the same old lane, going the wrong way home. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to sing again. My voice is kind of all over the place, and do not judge my singing. But she then says, I feel like my heart is stuck on bumper to bumper. Traffic, I'm under so much pressure because I can't have you the way that I want. Let's just go back to the way it was when we were on Honeymoon Avenue, coasting like crazy. Can we get back to the way it was? And then she proceeds to say, hey, what happened to the butterflies? Guess they encountered that stop sign and my heart is at a yellow light. And then, yeah. You know how to drive in rain. You decided not to make a change. I feel like my heart is stuck on bumper to bumper. Can we go back to Honeymoon Avenue? And now that I've kind of explained the lyrics of the song, I relate Honeymoon Avenue because I was coming home one evening last week and it hit me on the way home in a freaking matatu. I was like, I find myself stuck in different honeymoon avenues, whether that's in my early college, like I'm a senior at college, but before, when I was like starting out college, or when I moved to London when I was doing my A-levels. Sorry, I am back. When I was doing my A-levels, or even when I was in Nairobi and I moved here, and the early years of just feeling fearless and excited. And when I think of my life, I think there's so many different changes I've had and encountered, and I think up until 2019, I dealt with everything so well. I literally lived with so many different people in my life, and I'm so grateful and excited and find it invaluable because I feel like I have a home in different places. While at the same time, before 2020, if you guys are new here, I talked about this quite a bit, but I'm gonna do a podcast episode with a guest talking about grief, because we both experienced grief around the same time frame during the pandemic era. And before then, when I experienced death and the effects of death up close, I was like, whoa, life just feels too short. And that's kind of when I came up with the idea of the podcast, Feeling Authentically Blue, because I found myself feeling stuck in my head. And I've always been someone who's very self-aware, and always someone who I'm very in tune with my thoughts. And I think growing up in Kenya and different areas of Kenya, like Kericho, when I think of my hometown, when I was in primary school, I think mental health, there's so much stigma around it. Even in Nairobi, when I was in high school, there's so much stigma around mental health. And that's one of the main reasons why I started the podcast, because I wanted a younger version of me to listen to this podcast and feel like, hey, I'm not crazy. These thoughts are okay to think and feel. It's difficult for me sometimes to be as vulnerable as I was in the beginning when this podcast was anonymous and my friends and family didn't know about it, because I felt like I could just be more authentic. But recently, I have had people in my life listen to the podcast and think, did I cause that, or is this in reflection to our relationship or our conversation? And I'm like, not everything is about you. And with the podcast, I have things pre-planned. So, hey, not to be all bossy and braggy and that person, but I think, so the part of this podcast, I'm going to say toxic till the end, I will reflect on the negative relationships or things I've had in the past year that's been like, what the freaking heck is this shit? But back to Honeymoon Avenue, I found myself talking about friends finding the podcast. I think I had a friend tell me up close, like, your thoughts are not normal. And I was like, bruh, why the fuck would you tell me that? Because it made me get in my head, because I was like, I'm already I think as I've grown, I have had ways of just being not insecure, but just more aware of how and what I share with my thoughts to people. And it can just feel a bit yucky when people judge you for your thoughts, because that's literally who you are. But hey, I need to feel the fear and do it anyway. I'm not going to let people's thoughts and opinions impact the minimum one person I'm helping out there. Okay, enough with that. Back to the honeymoon avenue. So I was on my way home and I felt this sense of pressure in me. And I felt this really shocking and devastating realization that I find myself more times than I would like to admit. Low key, it feels like a part of my life. I find myself in my head thinking of how things should have been. And not to bring my cousin back into this, we're besties, okay? We talk about a lot, and whenever I speak to her, we both self-reflect, and I truly can be my raw, authentic self with her with no judgment. And it's like, yeah, the other day, even with toxic till the end, I was like, she was like, you just need to ride it out till the end of a situation that was happening. And I was like, is it toxic of me to think this way? And she was like, no, it's petty, we'll call it that, but hey, we're human, you know? It's okay to feel certain things. This was so crazy. And the same week I messaged my niece, more like a sister to me. I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm not Miss Goody Two Shoes anymore, because I'm embracing the bad side, you know, in quotation. Back to how I think and feel. I was speaking to my cousin and I was telling her, because I went to visit her recently and I saw a few family members I hadn't seen. And then we were talking about some stuff and I was like, as I said, I'm a very self-aware person and I'm a very observant person, too observant for my own well-being and comfort. And I pick up on things sometimes before even having evidence. And I'm also very intuitive. So we were having this conversation and I was just being very awkward, and not on purpose. Like, I am aware that I'm being awkward, and I was just like, I don't know how to approach this situation, and I'd rather me like be awkward than think back and regret something I said or I did. And I was talking to her about that and she was just like, yeah, I noticed. And I was like, yeah, I know everyone in the room noticed. Okay. And I'm thinking, maybe I should have behaved this way, or maybe I should have done this way. Or I'll give you an example when I'm speaking to my mom, or sometimes I'm speaking to my aunts, or even my friend and brother, they notice this, where they're like, you get angry really easily. Or one of my friends mentioned that to me, and I was just like, why do you guys always apologize when you can't do something? And they're like, because you're always like there for us, but when you need something, it's like, and we're not there, it feels heavy. And I was like, I don't want that kind of friendship or that kind of like pressure on people. But I think I'm just somebody, and I think a part of it was the fact that when I went through the existential crisis I was going through, I was very independent and didn't tell anybody a single thing I was going through. And that was such a huge, like, took a toll on me, that like my worthiness, my being here, my presence, my effect on people. And on top of that, me being awkward doesn't help. So I do find myself stuck in this honeymoon avenue, or like whether that's interactions I've had with people and want things to be better, or a time when I was younger and things were just more smooth and seamless. It's a lot, but if you can relate to anything I just said, I hope it's helpful to know you're not the only person out there, and it's not crazy. I think give yourself grace. I just had some Tetley tea before this and it was delicious. I feel like I'm gonna make another one even though it's 3 a.m. 4 a.m. at the moment. Yeah, it's almost 5. Okay, I'm gonna finish this and do the next episode because I need to get them both out today. So yeah, that is the idea of the honeymoon avenue. And I think I find myself not only with interactions or moments, I find myself stuck on times, like I mentioned, whether it's early when I was starting college or being in my childhood. And another thing I reflected was me being awkward in different things. Sometimes it's like a childhood survival habit that I have in me. And I was speaking to my dad about this a week and a half ago, and we're talking about abandonment issues and how he's an orphan and he lost his dad when he was really young. And we were talking about abandonment issues and how it failed to not have a parent at such a young age. Like, there was a period in my time where I was living with my grandparents because my mom divorced, which I absolutely don't blame her for. Obviously, I'm grateful that I came out of that marriage, and me and my brother came out of that marriage, and we're very, great now. I have an amazing dad. I don't even call him my stepdad, but there was a time in my life I didn't know how my mom or dad looked like. And I would go to school and I was extremely young, and I'd see different kids and the parents picking them up, and my grandmother was really strict. She still is. And it's just that abandonment issues of not feeling worthy, not feeling capable or able. And even at a young age, my grandmother was like, one day you were crying in school and I came home and the teacher asked you like, what's wrong? And you were like, you miss your mom. And then when she asked me, is everything okay? Like, do you miss your mom? I was like, no, I miss you, while I was in school. And she was like, you're always so considerate of other people's feelings. Maybe that's it. Some people in my life feel uncomfortable with different things, but I don't know. I think giving yourself grace, I give myself grace, and I just accept there are times I'm going to feel low, this time I'm going to feel high. These times it's giving bipolar. I'm not even making fun of that, okay? It's just life really can be chaotic sometimes. Even in the past few days, there's moments where I felt extremely high, like excited, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm with the family. Sorry, in my head I was thinking, in the club, we all fam. And then other moments I'm just thinking like, I had to tell a friend I lost something that's very precious to them, and I was so devastated, but I was just like, I have to do this because I promised myself when I come here and I search for things. And it mentally took a toll on me, because I was just like so frustrated and disappointed in myself. And now that I've said it, I haven't even checked the messages and what the person said or responded, but I'm just like, I don't even want to think about it. That's how stressed out I am and was. And I just think it's crazy. Life really do be crazy sometimes. So give yourself grace. Let yourself be. The past you doesn't dictate how you get to be in the future. Just because I was awkward in some interactions doesn't mean the next time I have to be awkward or self-aware in the moment. And think, oh my god, I'm always like this. No. Different things trigger different stuff. And yeah, give yourself grace, my beautiful aliens. Just be and inspire to be who you are and be fearless, and go back to that excitement you had as a child with so many possibilities of life. Because it doesn't matter if you're in your teens, if you're 20, if you're in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s. Heck, my grandmother's in her 90s. And she's moving into a new place by herself. Okay, I swear to God, I'm not even kidding. My grandmother's mom. So it's like, life is all about living and experiencing. And trigger warning, this past week, I felt moments of just not wanting to be here. That's why I did the whole episode on suicide ideation. And I think life, like, what is time? What the fuck is time? I posted it on my spam account the other day. I was just like, time is such an illusion, because I was reflecting on different birthdays I had, and I'm just looking at the different versions of me, and I'm like, in 2 years' time, me is like 2 years ago. I feel like I'm blubbering, like I'm high. I'm not high, I promise, but like, what? Time is so crazy, because something feels so monumental and so big in the moment, and then time goes by and you're like, why the fuck was I worried about that? People come, people go. Literally, life happens, and you find a job, you lose a job, you get excited, you get demotivated, you fall in love, you fall out of love, you have arguments with family members, you get back together, or you don't. And it's just, you grow from experiences, and there's no specific way life should be. We were never promised a life that was easy. We were never told, hey, life's gonna be great, you're gonna find a relationship, you're gonna be in a relationship, and all these different things. So yeah, my mind went 180 directions. I literally, why in my head I thought about queerness, I don't even know. But back into the topic, I think that's all I'm gonna say on Honeymoon Avenue. Moving on to toxicity. Oh, I was also gonna say nostalgia is such a bitch sometimes, and I find myself reminiscing in moments, like thinking about how life was great and different things. To quote the famous K-drama 2125, okay, because that is legit what I went through. Feels like a freaking ending finally. It's so crazy, like when you think of the good old days, or hashtag, I mean, quotation in quotations, the golden year, because you feel so nostalgic for a moment, for people, for time, and it always comes back to you. And I think before 2019, that's the mindset I had, and that's the mindset that pushed me forward in different changes. But obviously with death, it becomes like, life doesn't feel big and inspirational things. I mean, grief affects people differently. Like, I know people who live life to the fullest because they're like, hey, life is short. Whereas I personally, I lost myself. I was like, what the freaking heck? And we don't see that coming, and like, what is the point of life? But on the other hand, it's just like, truly, we really don't know how much time we have left on here. Death is the one thing that is guaranteed for everybody, and wasting time by reminiscing on the past is just crazy, because at the end of the day, the magic is in you. You have the power. You're the creator. You have that in you. You get to decide, I'm gonna have an amazing day, I'm gonna work out today. No one else is responsible for your feelings and your emotions and your mindset and your well-being. It's all on you, and that can be daunting. I've talked about that over and over and over again on this podcast. It's crazy. But on the other hand, it's like, it's such a beautiful thing, because no one is coming here. Sorry, I was about to say no one's coming to save you, and I'm like, how the hell is that motivational? But really, like, you don't need to wait for anybody. You can do it by yourself, and the magic is within you, and the relationships you create and you form and you have, even with yourself. It's so freaking beautiful. I feel like I'm giving a TED Talk, you guys. This generally feels like the last authentic rambles I'm gonna do in a long time. I feel like that's, I'm like, let's get it, bitches, and kind of go crazy. But I hope that was motivating. I hope that was encouraging. I feel motivated. I feel excited. I'm like, bro, I freaking motivated myself right now. I might have to come back and listen to this. I don't know if I will. I don't even know if I'm going to edit this. I'll probably put it up as it is. But hey, the last thing I wanted to talk about was toxic till the end. And feeling like, so this year, if you don't know Toxic Till the End is by Rose. Let me see if I can play it for you. Baby, when you pull me in closer, you heard. No, baby, when you... Let me just find it on TikTok. We were toxic. I've been addicted to threads. I did not fall, by the way. That was the chat. Oh, wait. Just so flirting is easy until you have to flirt with the person you like. I don't know. Let me see. Baby, when you pull me in closer, you heard. So it's by Rosie. Let me just put the volume down. Oh, so the first bit I see, point of view, when your airport security worker and a random lady tries to give me an AirPod, but you recently watched the movie. Carry on. That is funny, guys. If you haven't watched, sorry, it was about to send it to someone I didn't want it to send. If you haven't watched if you haven't watched Carry On, I'm getting distracted. You need to go watch Carry On. Alright, Toxic till the end. The music video is also elite. Call this what we are. Participating back when I was running out of you. We were toxic, baby. You heard, baby. Can you pull me in closer? You heard. We were toxic at the end, and yeah. Not giving me back my Tiffany rings, but one thing I forgive you for, one thing, my dear. Wasted my breath. Alright, enough in case we get copyrighted and stuff, but I freaking love you, Rose, okay? And yes, I can call you that because I listened to the whole album. Is this thing even recording? Wait a minute. How many minutes have we done? 25, almost 25 minutes. This is crazy. Alright, my lovies. Toxic till the end. I don't know if I talked about this in previous episodes, but I have basically come to the realization this year that I don't want to say people pleaser, but with loved ones, people who I love, whether it's family members, friends, whomever, I find myself genuinely letting the red flags be passing by. I'd be like, nah, they wouldn't do that. They didn't mean that. But this year, who the fuck is she? Because she came in guns blazing. People saw me and they did not see me coming. I sound kind of crazy, but low-key feels like a 2024 lessons I learned. I'm not gonna lie to you. When people, Oprah was not lying. When people show you who they are, believe them. Sometimes we want to believe the best in people because we love them and we care for them and we're there for them and, you know, they're there for us and da-da-da-da-da. And this isn't, hey, every single relationship is different, don't get me wrong, but I had moments where I was just like, yo, peace the fuck out. And people were like, is that the real you? One person asked me, I'm not even kidding. And I was like, I don't get it. You think you can treat me how you've been treating me nonstop, and then, oh, when I react or when I say something that isn't even that bad, like when I speak my mind, oh, yeah, I can't forgive you, bro. Rose came in clutch right there. No, genuinely, I can't forgive you because what the fuck is that behavior? It's giving toxicity. It's giving hashtag messy. But yeah, this year I have learned to be a teeny bit more like, I'm never really the toxic person. I'm a type of person who like resolving things with people. I like things ending with closure, but sometimes I'm like, people really do be fucked up in the head. These Reddit stories and TikTok stories I've been seeing, kind of crazy. But that is a wrap. Oh my days, I don't even know if I'm going to do the body dysmorphia episode now. If you're this far in, that's what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to record it today. I'm feeling hella sleepy, so I'm going to wrap up this episode. I have been watching such amazing K-dramas. I'm watching 3 K-dramas at the moment, okay? What is life even? Let me... I'm running out of your place, I said. I never want to see your face, man. She's so cheesy, bro. Alright, Netflix. My brother's home on my Netflix. I have a horse. Specifically, I have BoJack Horseman. And he was like, why do you have such a funny looking horse on your thing? And I was like, I don't know. Alright, I'm watching Record of Youth. Episode 13. That's where I'm at the moment. Was It Love? I started it today. I'm in episode 1. Love and Forecasting Weather. I started it yesterday. Ooh. I'm in episode 6. Itaewon Class. I started it yesterday. I'm in episode 3. And also I'm watching Singles Inferno. Okay, that is the vibe. That is absolutely the vibe. You should also go watch the music video if you haven't. But I'm gonna go very not Reddit. TikTok really be moving mad. I love you. I freaking love you, my beautiful alien. If you've been tuning in, I know this year I haven't been the most consistent. I don't even know if next year I am, to be honest. Okay, let me take that back. I'm going to do my best to try and be there. I think January, the first 2 weeks, I have a lot of work. I'm going to take a long break, okay? I think I might upload 1 or 2 more episodes and just chill the heck out. And then unplug. I'm kind of pissed off at my dad right now because he was supposed to take me to the best go-karting place in Africa and he hasn't. He has not. What are you doing, sir? What behavior is this? He's been working like crazy. He's a doctor. I will give him grace. But he promised me. And he didn't. And I was pissed off a whole day when he was like, are you okay? I was like, no, I'm not okay. And then next week we have family coming over and I was like, hide me away. I haven't seen them in ages. And anyway, this is my antisocialness popping out. You think I'm high, like the way I'm behaving right now, it's kind of crazy. All right, I don't want to leave you though. I don't want to go. I'm loving this so much. Probably never gonna hear this episode again in my life. So if you're listening to this, probably future me would listen, but I don't really know. But sending you love, sending you light. Give yourself grace. And have a lovely time wherever you are in the world. Send this to someone who you care about, someone who you think you should listen to this. And stay safe. Bye, my beautiful.